Hey guys, welcome to Cheesecake Chats. Let's eat cheesecake and chat about life. Story time about how I was hit by a semi-truck and ended up traumatizing a cop. This was a couple of years ago, but I still think about it kind of often, and I'm pretty sure the cop does too. But before I get started, can you guys please go ahead and give me a follow? I'm very sensitive, and if you don't follow me, my husband is going to have to keep listening to me cry, okay? He really doesn't want to do that. Thanks. But to set the scene, I was taking a summer class at a local college, and it was about a 45-minute drive from my house. And unfortunately, traffic always sucked getting home because the class ended during rush hour. It got to a point on the highway where I had to take an exit, and it was completely backed up. So once you got into the lane, it was stopped traffic. And there was a Jeep in front of me, and then once I stop, I glance in my rearview mirror, just because that's what you do when you're driving, and I see a semi-truck coming up way too fast. And I had a split second to think, he's not stopping in time, or something like that. And then he rammed into the back of my car, and I was watching this whole thing take place in my mirror. And I just saw the whole back windshield shatter. I then slammed forward and hit my steering wheel, and my car was pushed into the Jeep in front of me, so I ended up getting 2 impacts because then I slammed backwards into my headrest. And it was kind of a blur, but I remember my glasses flew off my face and I was trying to find them on the floor. Once I did, I sort of stumbled out of the car and I was calling 911, and the driver of the semi got out and he just very casually asked, "You calling 911? Yes." I was completely frazzled and I couldn't think straight. The 911 operator was asking me what happened, and I could not remember the word semi. So I just kept saying, a truck, like a big truck hit me. And then a few minutes later, a state trooper pulls up and he starts doing his thing. He asked me if I'm okay, and at this point, I'm bawling and hyperventilating. He was so clearly out of his element because he had no idea what to do with me. I don't think he'd been a cop for very long because he was clearly pretty young. And I know that some guys have baby faces and that you can get braces at any age, but I would bet a month's worth of cheesecake that it was this guy's first year on the job. So he's asking if I need an ambulance. I'm telling him I don't know. And then he tells me that my car is totaled. And I don't know why I thought this, considering that I was hit by a semi and then slammed into a Jeep, but I definitely thought I would be driving my little Ford Focus home that day. But when he told me it was totaled, I was just like, "It is?" And he looks at me like I've lost my whole mind and says, "Yeah, it is." And for some reason, that's the thing that just pushed me over the edge. And the only person who I was sure